Okay, guys, so good evening to all of you. I hope everyone is doing fine. I welcome each and every one of you to another class of SSB Crack Exam. आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है everyone. Okay, I hope everyone is doing fine. So I welcome all of you to another class of FCAT 1 2023 English. So we are starting comprehension class 2 तो जल्दी जल्दी जुड़ जाइए because we have to do a lot of questions today. हम लोग बहुत सारे questions practice करने वाले हैं comprehension के which will definitely aid you in the exam. ठीक है guys, so without further ado, let's get started with the timetable first. So जल्दी से हम लोग आज का timetable देखते हैं. ठीक है सो गाइस टाइम टेबल के हिसाब से वी स्टार्टेड ऑफ विद अनुराधा मैम्स क्लास एंड अगर हम एफकैट की बात करें यू गाइस हैड सत्यम सर्स क्लास एट 4 p.m. ठीक है उसके बाद 5:30 पे आपका कॉम्प्रीहेंशन का क्लास ऑलरेडी शुरू हो चुका है मेरे साथ उसके बाद यू गाइस विल हैव जहीर सर्स क्लास ऑफ स्टैटिक जीके ठीक है सो दिस इज द शेड्यूल फॉर एफकैट अभी जल्दी से हम लोग बात करते हैं बेसिकली अबाउट द टॉपिक. So when we talk about comprehension, it's an important topic altogether. But if I have to talk about FCAT, the questions are comparatively on the easier end. आपको काफी basic questions आते हैं, ज्यादा difficult questions नहीं आते हैं. So you guys usually get कितना 5 questions. अभी काफी ज्यादा consistent हो गया. You guys have been getting 5 questions. Previously, it was maybe between like 2, 3, 4 sometimes, right? There was a lot of variance as we see. But now it has बोल सकते हैं कि थोड़ा static हो चुका है. 5 questions ही आप लोगों को आ रहे हैं इस टॉपिक से. Okay. So the questions are of basic difficulty level. You don't need to worry when it comes to comprehension. बहुत ज्यादा difficult नहीं आते. And it's actually easy. उसको समझने में कुछ इतना होता नहीं है. ठीक है. So questions are asked, है ना? Questions are asked from the passage which needs to be first read to answer that, right? So guys, ये तो obvious सी बात है कि पहले आपको question को read करना रहेगा and उसके बाद ही आप उसको answer कर सकते हैं. So you just need intermediate, what do you call, reading skills and comprehensive skills to analyze the passage, जिससे कि आप उसको क्या कर सके, suitably answer कर सके. ठीक है guys, so you are just supposed to read it well और उसके बाद आप उसको आंसर करेंगे. ठीक है तो जल्दी से हम लोग फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन से शुरू करते हैं एवरीवन. सो आई विल बी गिविंग ऑल ऑफ यू 30 seconds टू रीड द फर्स्ट वन और उसमें एक और पैराग्राफ होएगा तो जल्दी जल्दी पढ़ना शुरू करते हैं. ठीक है देन वी विल हैव अ क्विक लुक एट द क्वेश्चंस. ठीक सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट वन. ठीक है I've started it. Everyone please start reading.
मैम इसके बाद और भी कोई वो है क्या पैराग्राफ?
Is everyone done with this one? So we will just move on to the next one, okay? There's just one paragraph after this. Hmm. Chalo guys, let's start off with the first question. I hope everyone is done. ठीक है? So, give me a second. Okay, guys. So the first question is, stammering is caused because of a physical disorder, hindered growth, lack of self-confidence, or lack of understanding. Okay, so it has been clearly stated by the writer that stammering is a habit disorder linked with lack of self-confidence. So the reason being, yeah, it is a habit disorder, but it obviously comes because you have lack of self-confidence. So it is not related to any of the options. So yes, guys, absolutely right. It is because of lack of self-confidence in a person. So very, very good. Let's move on to the next question. The second stage of a child's understanding the language is what? Is it speaking? Is it writing? Is it listening? Or is it reading? The second stage. So let's have a look. The first is to learn to understand the spoken language, right? That's what the writer says. And the second one is the second is speaking. Clearly state किया गया कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं है that you have to basically read properly to understand. It's really easy to understand. ठीक है? So speaking would be the answer. So absolutely correct again. Very good guys. A would be the answer. Let's move on to the next one. Dash are basically the reason for developing a fear in the child's mind. Is it the parents? Is it overcautious mothers? Is it fathers? Or is it because of the uncles? Okay, so it was mentioned in one of these lines. I guess इधर है वो.
मैम फर्स्ट लाइन नो मैम
Hmm.
नेक्स्ट पैरा यस मैम
Okay,
इसमें
yeah,
फर्स्ट
this
लाइन
is overcautious mothers do is okay, yeah, they fret and they become anxious, and the child develops a fear later on. Yes, yes, absolutely correct, guys. Right, it has been mentioned here. Ki are basically, so who is the reason for developing a child like fear in child's mind is basically because the mother is fretting, like she's being very overcautious about things, not being relaxed, है ना? So उसकी वजह से B हो जाएगा, absolutely correct. Fluency in such patients can be incorporated in the speech of such patients. Uh, okay, in the speech of such patients through what? Hypnosis, slap, punishment, or symbiosis.
मैम ए
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, guys, it was clearly mentioned in the last line. यहाँ पे already mention किया हुआ है. Fluency can be incorporated in the speech of such patients through hypnosis. तो आप hypnosis करेंगे, उसी से क्या हो जाएगा? उनका जो fluency है वो क्या हो सकता है? Improve हो सकता है. Right? So it's not related to you slapping somebody, punishing a symbiosis, which is again related to some kind of relationship. So hypnosis would be the answer. Absolutely correct. Next question is, by the time the child becomes 2 years old, he or she can do what? Speak complex sentences, only understand spoken language, understand and speak simple language, or write the alphabet. Hmm. Both of these usually develop around the age of 2. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, so it obviously has to be your, you know, speaking part and understanding part, na? That's what it says, right? First you understand and then speak. A, first stage and second stage. So it has to include both of them. So your answer would be C. As it was mentioned in one of the lines, by two, like by your two, these two things, faculties should be developed. So कॉम्प्लेक्स तो नहीं हो सकता बिकॉज हम बच्चे की बात करें तो अब बच्चा थोड़ी कॉम्प्लेक्स चीजें समझ सकता है. दैट हैपेंस लेटर ऑन, है ना? So writing alphabet and understanding is not just enough. So your answer would be C. I hope it is clear, guys. I guess काफी बच्चों ने सही दिया है, काफी ने नहीं दिया है. But I hope it is clear now because it was mentioned in the paragraph. ठीक. चलो guys, we are done with the first comprehension. So let us move on to the next one. ठीक है. I will give all of you time again. So ये रहा first. This one is really factual again. So okay, 40 seconds. Should we move on, guys? Is everyone ready? Ki you guys are still reading.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Chalo, this one. Okay, guys, let's start. Okay, अभी शुरू करते हैं. Chalo, let's read the first question and try to see what could be the answer. Marine deposits under the sea do not get decomposed because they do what? Become rock and prevent oxygen from entering them, are covered by the sand and slit brought by the current, contain a mixture of hydrogen and carbon, are constantly washed by the ocean current. Hmm? D. Marine deposits under the sea, they do not get decomposed because they become rock and they prevent oxygen from entering them. Okay. The complete decomposition of the okay. As this material hardens, it becomes sedimentary rock and effectively shuts out the oxygen, so preventing the complete decomposition of the marine deposits underneath. Okay, so this would be the answer. They become rock and they prevent oxygen from entering them, as I underlined here. So this would be the answer. नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं चलो. Sedimentary rock leads to the formation of oil deposits because, okay, now we are talking about sedimentary rocks. It becomes hard and forms into rocks which produces oil. It pressures produces heat and turns the deposit of animal carcasses and plants into oil. It turns heavy and shuts out the oxygen, or it becomes heavy and hard and applies pressure to squeeze oil. Sedimentary rock lead to the formation of oil deposits. And how does it do that? यहीं पे तो मेंशन किया हुआ था. It should be this, right? The layers of sedimentary rock become thicker and heavier. Their pressure produces heat, which transform the tiny carcasses into crude oil in a process that is still going on today. Right? Let's see. कितने बच्चों ने सही आंसर दिया है? Yes, absolutely right, guys. Clearly mention किया गया है. How do they rock leads to formation of oil? It pressures, produces heat, and turns the deposit of animal and plants into oil. Absolutely correct. Very good. Next पे चलते हैं. In order to have mineral oil, hydrogen and carbon are combined in what proportions? Equal proportion, fixed proportions, varying proportions, or the proportion of 2 and 1. ये मेंशन किया हुआ है आप लोगों का. It's mentioned. Yeah, right. Yeah, so it talks about, yeah, most of them are combination of hydrogen and carbon in varying proportions, right? That's what it said. So the answer should obviously be varying proportions, isn't it? तो varying क्या proportions में आपका क्या हो जाएगा? हो जाएगा. So even if you are skimming ना, तो आप देख सकते हो कि skimming के through भी आपको काफी answers मिल जाते हैं. The time it takes for the marine deposits to harden into rock is what? Few years, thousands of years, hundreds of years, or millions of years. अभी ये तो explicitly आपको आंसर नहीं दिया गया है पैसेज में, बट उन्होंने clearly mention किया है कि that it's still happening, है ना? So out of these options, we can just say million of years. ठीक? Yes, absolutely right, guys. The answer would be D. Correct. The most apt title for the passage would be what? What do you guys think? Crude mineral oil? How sedimentary rock is formed? How mineral oil is formed? Or how marine deposits under the sea? Crude mineral oil comes out of the earth as thick brown or black liquid. It is a complex mixture of many different most of mineral oil originates from these dead creatures. Yeah, see, yes, guys, see, we can say that the most apt title for the passage would be how mineral oil is formed. Because, see, yes, we know that it is about, we can say crude mineral oil or mineral oil. But यहाँ पे जो आपको option, it seems very vague. Okay, you're just saying crude mineral oil. And when I have this option right here, and it is clearly telling you, आपको एक ग्लांस दे रहा है कि व्हाट इज द पैसेज इज गोइंग टू बी अबाउट, कि क्या होने वाला है पैसेज में, हाउ मिनरल ऑयल इज फॉर्म्ड. तो आपको आई गेस इसी के लिए जाना चाहिए बिकॉज इट क्लियरली स्टेट्स कि हाउ मिनरल ऑयल इज फॉर्म्ड एंड दैट हैज बीन एक्सप्लेन इन डिटेल इन द पैसेज इटसेल्फ. सो योर आंसर वुड बी सी. एब्सोल्युटली राइट है ना? सी आपका क्या हो जाएगा? आंसर हो जाएगा. एंड ऑब्वियसली बी एंड सी वुड बी जस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द पैसेज, राइट? सो एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. आई होप इट इज क्लियर. सो नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं फिर. ठीक, नाउ वी विल डू द नेक्स्ट वन. अभी रेगुलर फिजिकल एक्टिविटी. ओके, दिस इज द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ. दिस वन इज रियली इजी. Okay, shall we move on to the next one now if everyone is ready? Next पे चलते हैं. ठीक.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Chalo guys, let's start, huh? Let's see what is the first question. According to this passage, regular activity is needed to control one's blood pressure, lose one's weight, improve one's cognitive skills, or improve one's physical as well as mental health. है ना? So, guys, even if I talk about this whole passage, it talks about that how regular physical activities will provide you various health benefits, right? So, we can say all in all, leaner body and lower blood pressure to improve mental health and cognitive functioning. So, all in all, out of these options, I can say that improve one physical as well as mental health would be the right answer, है ना? Out of these options. बिकॉज ये आपको क्या कर रहा है बेसिकली होलिस्टिक एक अप्रोच होता है ना सो इट विल प्रोवाइड यू ऑल द बेनिफिट्स नॉट जस्ट द फिजिकल वंस अगर फिजिकल है तो ऑब्वियसली बात है आपका वेट भी चेक में रहेगा ब्लड प्रेशर राइट सो मेंटल में आपका कॉग्निटिव एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स वुड आल्सो कम so we can say D would be the answer. So absolutely right. In order to tone up the physical education program, it should be made compulsory at school. As assessment of the existing program should be made, a committee should be set up in every school. The program should be reoriented and implemented. Hmm. Yes, guys. Yes, absolutely right. The comprehension has clearly mentioned कि किस तरीके से we need to reorient and a program and actually implement it because it is not happening at schools. They are not paying attention. So we need to have such programs जिनको आप implement भी कर सको. So absolutely correct. Very good. According to the Americans, health education is more important than teaching. What? Social sciences, liberal arts, any subject or natural sciences. Right, so adults in the US think that information about health was more important for students to learn the content in basically they have stated a lot of subjects, math, science, history, or any other subject. So all in all, what we can see is they basically see it as a priority and we need to give it a what do you call preference है ना थोड़ा priority देना चाहिए. So any subject would be the answer. Absolutely correct. The author wants the reoriented physical education program to be given minimum curriculum time, very comprehensive, relevant to the modern society or thoughtful. Reoriented physical program. सी कहाँ से हो रहा है relevant to modern society. Thoughtfully analyze the design and delivery of school physical education program. It nowhere mentions it to be just what do you call? Okay, it just needs to be thoughtful. In order to improve physical education program, we should first of all allot more time to the teaching and learning of physical activity, decide on the number of activities to be taught, employ qualified instructors, or increase the teaching load of instructors. I guess the options are really easy to understand कि what should be the answer. इसमें तो आप Yes, absolutely right. You need to see if you are talking about physical education, so you need to allot time because the writer has been mentioning again and again that how we need to what do you call allot more time to the teaching and learning of physical activities because it is not given its due when it comes to schools and the programs are not well thought or detailed enough, comprehensive enough. So absolutely right. A would be the answer. So very good, guys. बहुत अच्छा किया आप लोगों ने सो नाउ लेट्स क्विकली मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन ठीक ये रहा नेक्स्ट ओके हम्म is everyone done then so
Yes, ma'am.
okay chalo guys let's see the first question according to the writer the bay could not be reached by boat because of what reason right so it had numerous layers of lake there are too many eddies ठीक है it was facing the open sea. There were scenes of rock and treacherously swirling currents. Eddies would be whirlpool जैसा जो आता है ना water में. It just goes around and round. So that would be that. So see, clearly mentioned किया गया है that why this bay cannot be reached by boat. It's mentioned in the first line itself. At low tide, he walked over the sands to the headland, round the corner to the little bay facing the open sea. It was inaccessible by boat because seams of rock jutted out. They are coming out and currents swirled round them treacherously. Right. So it is clearly mentioned out of these, obviously, D would be the answer. That is why उसको access नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Correct. One could visit the bay. How? At any time one choose on certain specified occasion when there was a low tide or during the evening walk. Usually the writer has already mentioned that there are very high tides, that it is not even possible to see it properly. ठीक है? So when can you see it? Low ebb tide. But you could walk there if you choose one of the lowest ebb tides that receded a very long way. Right? So you can, it would again mean guys कि जब वहाँ पे ज़्यादा high tides नहीं है, then only it is accessible. So very good. Great job. चलिए. Next. It was not possible, huh, it was not possible to linger on the expedition because the water rose rapidly, the water turned quickly, sorry, the tide turned sprightly, or the water rushed in with a great force. Expedition. It was not possible to linger on the expedition. You could not linger on the expedition for once the tide was on the turn, it came rapidly. है ना? You just see the keywords and you will find the answers. इतना टाइम वेस्ट ही नहीं करना है ना? The tide turn because it clearly mentioned tide. So tide turn quickly. It turns. Turn करता है वो rose. It's not rising or anything. It just turned quickly. So absolutely right. Very good. He found the bay fresh and unlittered because अभी इसका भी आंसर आपको explicitly नहीं मिलेगा. So you kind have to gauge it through the hints that have been given there. The sea water had receded. Okay, recede हो रहा है. He was the first visitor there. The high tide had just washed the litter away, and it was not frequented by people who would pollute it. See, anyways, people, not many people come there, so D तो option आप लगा ही नहीं सकते हो इसमें. And it has been mentioned that यहीं पर ही कहीं mention है unlettered करके word था इधर. हाँ देखो, but the known unknown always drew this man like a magnet. He found the bay fresh and unlittered, as it was completely covered by the sea at high tide. High tide में तो it's obviously covered. You are not like you will not be able to see it properly. ठीक है? So उस हिसाब से like out of these option we will actually go for C. है ना? The high tide had just washed the litter away. ठीक है? जो भी वहां पे litter था जिसकी वजह से you couldn't see. So now C would be the answer. So very good guys, absolutely correct. While passing through the cave, the writer discovered a what? A cool and secluded corner, large opening, chimney-shaped rock, or a big crack through which light came. ये तो बहुत आसान है. It's actually mentioned in the last paragraph where it says, so basically the cave looked mysteriously, so the person has entered the cave and there's a crack, okay, which looks like a chimney. He peered up and through which he could see patch of light, है ना? Daylight. So the answer has to be out of those option. आप लोग देख सकते हो कि option क्या होगा. ठीक है? Big crack through which light came in. Secluded corner, large opening, chimney-shaped rock. Not really. After this option, we have to mention the light also. Like there's a crack through which light comes in. Right? So D would be the answer. So absolutely correct. This one was really easy as all of you could see. ठीक, अभी चलते हैं नेक्स्ट वाले पर जो कि और भी ज्यादा इजी होगा. ठीक है? So when you guys are ready, let me know. 40 seconds तो वैसे मैं दे ही रही हूँ. Let's start timer also.
मैम ये क्वेश्चन मैं 4 बार एसएसबी क्रैक के मॉक्स में कर चुकी हूँ. रट गया मुझे आंसर्स.
अच्छा ये वाला.
हर मॉक में यही क्वेश्चन है.
दोबारा कर लो फिर पूरा ही रट जाएगा. क्या पता एग्जाम में आ जाए.
I'm done.
Is everyone done then? तो शुरू करते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
यस मैम.
This one is really easy. इसमें तो कुछ है ही नहीं. The people saw the golden pitcher in a river nearby, in a lake nearby, in a pit nearby, or inside the palace. अभी गुम हो गया है पिक्चर एम्परर का. So people went in search of the picture. They saw it in a lake nearby. So I just skimmed it. You guys can also do it. ठीक है? हाँ तो B ही ऑप्शन है ना. Absolutely right. In a lake nearby. So absolutely right. Next. The emperor's orders were that all the children should leave his land, old men should leave his land, old men should live in his land, or young men should stay in his land. See, he's a person who is basically scared of getting old. So if I look at the options, so I don't think he's actually asking children. He just want all the old men to leave his land because they would remind him of his this misery, right? Of this curse of old age as he thinks, right? So, absolutely right. B would be the answer. Correct. What did the people who went to bring the pitcher get? Nothing at all? A handful of water? A handful of air? या फिर the pitcher's handle? अरे बाप रे pitcher का ही handle थोड़े. All they got was a handful of pani. See, this is what they get for getting his pitcher. So, yes, all they got was water. Handful of water. So, absolutely right. Correct. The emperor feared what? Getting old, getting young, getting weak, or getting ill. Yes, guys, it's really easy now that we have done other questions that he's really scared of getting old. That's why he doesn't want any old person in his empire because they would remind him of old age, which is really, I would say, dumb. So, but okay. Everybody is going to grow old. The emperor was upset to see the old man because it reminded him of his grandfather. It reminded him that he might fall ill. It reminded him that he would grow old too. It reminded him that he had to color his hair. Wow, D option बहुत अच्छा है. Hmm. I mean, it's really easy. He's really scared of getting old. तो obviously बात अपने दादाजी की तो याद आएगी नहीं. So it's gonna be, it reminded him that, I will also grow old one day. So he's not happy about it. So he just got upset. So absolutely right. Very good. So now we are done with this one. Now we will quickly move on to the next one, you guys. ठीक? तो चलते हैं next पर. जो कि है फिंगरप्रिंट्स के बारे में. When you guys are ready, let me know. 40 seconds and 40 seconds for the other one.
I'm done.
Yes,
Is
ma'am, done.
everyone done? Okay, let's move on to the next one.
I'm done.
Hmm.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, guys. So next question लिखते हैं. Fingerprints are the most dash way of identifying a person. Best, genuine, sincere, or accurate. See, it clearly mentions that how these fingerprints are the marks made by the ridges on the ends of the fingers and thumbs. These ridges form a pattern that stays the same throughout a person's life. And so out of this option, what I can understand is कि best, genuine, sincere तो नहीं बोल सकते. We can say it's the most accurate way because they obviously stay the same throughout your life. So accurate answer इसका हो सकता है. Absolutely right. The main reason why fingerprinting is used for identification is that every individual has a unique set of fingerprint. Every set of fingerprint falls into a pattern. Records of fingerprints can be maintained. Fingerprint can be picked up even after a crime. Yeah, it clearly states that how no two persons have ever had the same fingerprint. So everybody has is going to have their unique fingerprint, right? So it's a foolproof way of identifying a person. So out of this option, we'll go with the A1. Every individual has a unique set of fingerprint. So absolutely correct. The present system of recording fingerprint is around dash years old. 2200, 100, 500 or 220. Hmm. I guess it's somewhere here. Hmm. See, the answer has been mentioned 100. Hmm. No, that's what this answer is really vague. Like, we don't know, like, is it referring to century? Because it says 1800, should be century. So I am going to assume that it is century because year तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हो सकता. No, it's really.
मैम बिफोर क्राइस्ट लिखा हुआ है तो आदम जमाने का ही होगा.
हाँ, that's what I'm saying. So they haven't really mentioned the 100. 100 years old is around 100 years. तो यहाँ पे 100 कैसे हो सकता है?
मैम उस टाइम पे था टेक्नोलॉजी.
मैम उसमें लिखा है कि 1901 से यूज कर रहे हैं इसको लॉ एनफोर्समेंट में.
यस मैम, डी शुड बी.
Yeah,
लास्ट
D
लाइन.
should be the answer. That's what it is.
यस मैम.
The system used today was invented when in 1900 and 1901. Found a simple way of grouping fingerprints. The system was used today was invented. System recording of fingerprints. तो फिर ये नहीं. हाँ हाँ तो
मैम बी ही होगा आंसर. 1901 से लेंगे तो 100+ इयर्स हुए हैं.
let me use 2000. हाँ एक्चुअली सही है. तो हाँ सही है मुझे. बट अभी अभी क्या बोलूं, मतलब पैसेज के हिसाब से, ईयर के हिसाब से तो मत ही जाओगे. हाँ वैसे सही है. करेक्ट. The fingerprints are stored for record on a white card, on an inked surface, on paper files, or on a small piece of metal. It has been clearly mentioned that how they, place it on a white card. It's in the first paragraph actually. Mm, 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 mm. Huh. Then the fingerprints are pressed on a white card, right? Right? So that would be the answer. So I guess everyone has said the same thing, white card. So absolutely right. Correct. So this one is really easy. Who first evolved a system of using finger impression to authenticate documents? Absolutely right. Very good. Chinese, huh? Chinese evolved a system. Evolved. Who first evolved a system of using finger impression to authenticate documents? Wait a second. It is thought that the Chinese used thumbprints to sign documents a long time before Christ. The system used today was invented. Okay, so they just invented. Sir, I found a way of grouping fingerprints. Okay, so इनका use किया गया ना 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 ना. So yes, 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 absolutely right. So they use this for authentication. Yes, yeah, he just invent. Yes, correct. So this would be the answer. नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं ठीक है so when you guys are ready just let me know Chinese is the answer should we move on to the next one this one is really easy तो next पे चलते हैं चलो guys let's start with the first question according to the passage nothing that money can buy is worthwhile without love of sports without adventure without good health or without good faculty see it clearly mentions that somebody nothing that money can buy is worthwhile without good health clearly mention किया गया है ना so out of these option your answer would be without good health so it is so we can say the writer is definitely someone who uh, values health a lot war nowadays stimulates what noble qualities of mankind man's virility bestial qualities of mankind or man's fight for survival Virility would be manliness. War nowadays stimulates, बहुत ही clearly mention किया गया यहाँ पर कि यहाँ पे right, bestial qualities of mankind. So absolutely right guys, आपका आंसर हो जाएगा C, correct. What is the best advantage mountaineering brings to an adventure? Art of planning, thinking ahead, responsibility towards companions or contact with the beauty of the universe. बहुत ही आसान है ये भी. Why? See, अभी यहाँ पे confusion इसलिए create हो रही है because अच्छे से आप read नहीं कर रहे हो उसको. See, it calls for sense and judgment for planning and thinking ahead. Yes, all these options are there. Anticipating difficulty. And best of all, it brings the mountaineer into touch with the beauty of the universe, like best of all. And the question clearly states that. Question में clearly पूछा गया है. What is the best advantage? So इसमें से जो best advantage है, contact with the beauty of the universe. Right? So we have to look at that particular phrase also जो वहाँ पे mention किया गया. Right? So your answer would be D. Correct. चलो फिर इसी के साथ हम लोग नेक्स्ट पे चलेंगे. ठीक, चलिए ये तो बहुत आसान है. It's basically about sensationalism of news media as we say. So देखिए, is everyone done? This one is
Yes, ma'am.
actually an interesting paragraph. Hmm. Chalo. Chalo, let's start with the first one. Evaluation of news would imply what? Less dependence on modern system of communication, more careful analysis of each news story and its value, separating beans from junk, or discriminating horrors from disasters. Yes, because see, the writer is clearly mentioning that how we are not evaluating news. Okay, like there is nobody who is actually paying proper check to it because of which we are being fed a lot of junk on daily basis. So would actually imply that we are being more careful in analyzing of each news story and how valuable it is. है ना? क्योंकि काफी impactful होता है. So absolutely right. Very good. The writer of the above passage seems to be happy with the contemporary arrangement for circulating news, is shocked by the casual stories about horrors and disasters reported in the newspaper, wants better evaluation of news before publication, or wants to put his foot down on news stories. What does the writer really wants? Yes, because see, if we read the whole paragraph, we already know that yes, the writer is definitely not happy with the situation, but the writer also wants better evaluation of news. That's what is spread throughout that has been planted throughout the passage, that he or she wants better evaluation of news before they are publicized, because again people are reading it, they are being just you know, given junk to read. In the above passage, the phrase amount to a row of beans means that the news is weak and often wanting entirely, deserves no one attention, should travel the wires, or is junk dressed up as real news. Hmm. Yes, amounts to a row of beans clearly says that, रुको, in the above passage, the phrase amounts to a row of beans means that the news, D किया है क्या तुम लोगों ने? Amounts to a row of beans. Let's read it. Yes. हाँ, देखो यहाँ पे this is important and that does not amount to row of beans, deserves nobody's attention and should travel the wires no further. Right? So answer would be B. What is the other option? What are the options? हाँ? किधर गया? मैंने क्या आंसर दिखा दिया क्या? एक मिनट यार, मैं क्वेश्चन किधर गया? Okay, we are done with this one. Yeah, obviously C cannot be the answer and D तो है ही नहीं, B होगा. हाँ, yes, correct. I hope it is clear, guys. B is the
मैम
answer. It
डज
does.
नॉट मैम डज नॉट अमाउंट टू रो ऑफ बीन्स का मतलब होता है ना डिजर्व नो वंस अटेंशन.
हाँ, correct. Deserves nobody's
अच्छा हाँ, तो
attention.
इसका डिजर्व्स नो
B, and
वंस.
also the writer has mentioned it along with it ना वहाँ पे sentence में. So yes, this is the answer. Newspaper lack a sense of discrimination because they do not separate the real news
मैम
from
एक और
mere.
डाउट है,
हाँ बोलो.
पीछे वाले पे. मैम उस फ्रेज में पैराग्राफ में लिखा था डज नॉट अमाउंट टू रो ऑफ बीन्स, मतलब डज नॉट रहेगा फ्रेज में तब ना डिजर्व नो वन अटेंशन. वहां पे अगर नेगेशन नहीं है पहले वाले फ्रेज में तो दूसरे वाले में नेगेशन कैसे आएगा?
कहाँ की बात कर रहे हो? कहाँ negation नहीं है? कहाँ
मैम
negation है?
अमाउंट टू रो ऑफ बीन्स है ना,
This is important, and
इम्पोर्टेंट,
that
एंड
does
डज
not.
नॉट अमाउंट टू रो ऑफ बीन्स. डज नॉट अमाउंट टू रो ऑफ बीन्स का मतलब डिजर्व नो वंस अटेंशन ना.
हाँ, that what it says, like this is not important and this does not needs anybody's attention.
हाँ, तो अमाउंट टू रो ऑफ बीन्स मतलब नीडिंग अटेंशन होगा ना, डज नॉट मतलब नॉट डज नॉट नीड अटेंशन होगा ना. तो पहले वाले में नॉट आएगा तब तो दूसरे में नॉट आएगा, मेरा ये कहने का मतलब है.
आप क्वेश्चन की बात कर रहे हो क्या? In the above passage, the phrase amount to a row of beans means that the news. I guess there is some. Just give
तो
me
फिर
a
उस
second.
लाइन में आगे में शुड ट्रैवल द वायर्स नो फर्दर लिखा है, तो इसमें नेगेशन नहीं है, इसलिए शुड ट्रैवल द वायर्स होना चाहिए ना आंसर.
Mm, 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 mm. This is important and that does not amount to means does not. Not significant, does not. It becomes significant. I guess there is some error here because
this is important. and that does not amount to row of beans. That के साथ करो ना, तो this makes a complete sense. Amount to row is a phrase, you can't put negation in front of it.
Yeah,
That
that's what I'm saying, because itself it says, na, because it is insignificant that you're putting not to it becomes.
yeah.
I
So
guess paragraph में guys कुछ problem होएगा, because the question also states that the
मैम तो
not.
उसका आंसर
the
ऑप्शन सी
phrases
हो सकता
never
है ना.
change because of this negation or attribute. Because phrases are phrases. उसको वो does not से कोई मतलब नहीं. They're just asking the amount to row of beans का
This is
मतलब क्या है.
important and that does not amount. Does not. I see. अभी आंसर तो यही है, ठीक है. So maybe there is some issue with the paragraph, I would say, guys.
मैम तो इसका आंसर होना चाहिए था डिजर्व्स अटेंशन ना.
Deserves
अगर वैसे देखे
attention कैसे हो सकता है? मतलब ये तो सही है, फ्रेज तो सही है,
हाँ फ्रेज सही है आंसर.
तो ये बी क्यों नहीं हो सकता है इसका आंसर? आई डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. फ्रेज के अकॉर्डिंग तो सही है. हाँ, अगर आप पैराग्राफ के अकॉर्डिंग जा रहे हो तो ऑब्वियसली अर्चना, फिर तो आपको कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है.
हम्म.
उसको भूल जाओ, दैट व्हाट आई वुड से. Newspapers lack a sense of discrimination because they do not separate mere sensationalism. They have to accept whatever is received on the wires. Limited manpower makes serious evolution impossible. People don't see the difference between junk and real news. देखो बहुत ही क्लियरली मेंशन किया गया है पैराग्राफ में that they do not separate real news from sensationalism, right? And that is why they are feeding you junk. So उसमें कुछ कंफ्यूजन ही नहीं है, ठीक है? ठीक. The passage implies that there has to be censorship on newspapers. There is no point in having censorship. Newspapers always dress up junk to look meaningful. One has to be strict in selecting news items. Abhi, see, you can't be strict, first of all, because they are clearly making you feed it. आपको जो feed किया जाएगा. What do you think the passage is implying? Passage क्या imply करने की कोशिश कर रहा है? आप वो question को समझो पहले. पैसेज तो यही इम्प्लाई कर रहा है ना दैट दीज न्यूज़पेपर्स ऑलवेज ड्रेस अप जंक टू लुक मीनिंगफुल. वो ये मतलब ऑब्वियसली जो राइटर है वो ये भी चाहता है, बट जो पैसेज है वो ये इम्प्लाई कर रहा है, उससे ये यही तो मीनिंग निकल रहा है कि हाउ दिस न्यूज़पेपर आर जस्ट सर्विंग यू जंक. तो सी होना चाहिए ना. ए किधर से आ रहा है आपका आंसर? ठीक, तो सी हो जाएगा. ओके, एंड वी हैव लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन नाउ. क्रिस्टीना जी के बारे में पढ़ते हैं. ये तो बहुत ही आसान है. चले गाइस, रेडी? हम्म.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Yes, ma'am, done.
चलो. The word anthology in line 1 probably means what? Writer, collection, poem or poet. चलो anthology देखते हैं. Today, every major anthology of 19th century poetry includes examples of this. See, anthology as a word itself means collection. ठीक है? So, उसका
Collection.
आंसर कलेक्शन ही उसका मीनिंग होता है, तो बी। Okay, Christina Rossetti began writing poetry only after her brother urged her to do so when she was 53 years old, when she was very young, when her genius was recognized. Actually, she started very young. It has been mentioned 11. She began composing verse at the age of 11. I mean, obviously, her brother motivated her because he himself, used to write poems and all, but she started really young. है ना? So we can say out of this, the answer would be C. So absolutely correct. Okay. Next पे चलते हैं. Christina's brother was probably a good judge of her work because he loved his sister very much. He himself published poems. He was a poet or he was a famous painter. He was obviously a good judge क्योंकि वो क्या थे?
मैम इस
Poet
केस
थे
में
ना?
सी एंड डी दोनों होगा।
Yes, ma'am.
See, since we are talking about her poems, so why would we say painter?
क्योंकि उसकी सिस्टर तो पोएम ही लिखती थी ना, पेंटिंग।
वो थोड़ी पेंट करती थी, तो सी
मैम
वुड बी।
लेकिन पैराग्राफ में तो दोनों ही मेंशन्ड है, ही वाज बोथ पोएट एंड पेंटर।
तो वो जज
अरे
तो
बट
पोएम
जज ऑफ हर वर्क ना, तो पेंटर क्यों उसकी मतलब पोम्स को, मतलब पेंटर तो आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट हो गया ना,
Yes, ma'am.
उस हिसाब से कह रहे हैं। वो पोएटिस है, वो पेंटर और पोम्स, सो वी हैव टू गो फॉर सी ना। Okay, in 1894, Christina had what? Published only a few of the many poems she had written, published all the poems she had written, published more than 1100 poems, or published over 900 poems. That's a lot. 900. Christina had written more than 1100 poems and had published, written इतना है, published over 900. बाप रे, कितना लिखती थी. So we can see out of these options, our answer would be 900 because we are talking about publishing, है ना? So correct. Next question. At the time this passage was written, Christina Rossetti poetry was almost unknown. This passage, okay, was rarely published, had made her known as the greatest woman poet of the 18th century, had not been collected in an authoritative edition. At the time this passage was written. Although this work has earned her recognition as the greatest for Victorian age, there is still no authoritative edition of her poetry. So no authoritative edition of her poetry, है ना? Yes, had not been collected in an authoritative edition because that's what it clearly says, na? So absolutely right, guys. Correct. That would be the answer. ठीक है? So we are done with the questions for class today, guys. I am giving all of you a quick question, तो आप लोग मुझे उसको करके बताओ. नहीं, बस एक क्वेश्चन हम लोग कर रहे हैं. उसके बाद you guys can definitely leave. Just give me a question. आपके ही उसी में आया हुआ है ये क्वेश्चन. I guess I'll just write it here. यहाँ पे तो जगह नहीं है, तो मैं चैट बॉक्स में लिख रही हूँ. रुको. ठीक है, मैंने ना उसको वो नहीं करा है. What do you call it? I haven't numbered it, या फिर मैंने उसको कोई अल्फाबेट वो नहीं दिया है. आपको एरर बताना है बस, if you think there's any error. ठीक. नहीं guys, this is not the last class. We have to do other topics also. नेक्स्ट क्लास में वन वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशन होगा. Though we'll be done with FCAT very soon. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, basically ebb and flow is actually a phrase now. So it is treated as one. ठीक है, जैसे बोलते हैं ना स्लो एंड स्टेडी, तो उसी तरीके से ebb and flow बेसिकली द प्रोसेस ऑफ गोइंग, कमिंग, लीविंग एंड ऑल दैट. ठीक है, सो उस हिसाब से आपका क्या वुड बी द एरर, द ebb of flow of the tides इज होना चाहिए, इट कांट बी आर, राइट. सो दैट वुड बी द आंसर. काफी इजी था ये. ठीक है guys, so I will see all of you in the next class where we will start with one word substitution. ठीक है, तो वहां पे आप लोगों से मिलती हूँ. तब तक के लिए टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ एंड बाय बाय एवरीवन. ओके, बाय बाय.